Anybody don't like it, come see the king. And we're gonna start with 50.
Ladies and gentlemen, the hip-hop internet just woke up to a headline that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a chaotic reality show script. 1 minute fans were casually scrolling through memes and music clips, and the next minute the timeline exploded with rumors about Jim Jones, T, and 50 Cent all being involved in a backstage confrontation. Yes, you heard that right. A confrontation, backstage, at a concert, and according to the internet detectives who never sleep, security footage allegedly leaked showing a tense moment between these rap heavyweights. Now, before anyone could even finish their morning coffee, social media had already turned the situation into a full-blown hip-hop mystery, because when you combine 3 names like this in one sentence, you already know the internet isn't going to stay calm. This is 50 Cent, the king of trolling who has built an entire empire on turning drama into viral entertainment. This is T, a rapper who never hesitates to step into heated debates when he feels something needs to be addressed. And then there's Jim Jones, a Harlem legend who has never exactly been known for avoiding confrontation when things get tense. So the moment rumors of a backstage run-in started circulating, the timeline reacted exactly how you'd expect. Twitter threads popped up within minutes. TikTok commentators started breaking down the alleged footage like sports analysts reviewing a championship replay. And YouTube reaction channels rushed to upload breakdown videos faster than streaming platforms drop new episodes. The moment the rumor about leaked backstage footage started spreading, the internet reacted like someone had just dropped a surprise diss track during the middle of a concert. Social media timelines went from normal scrolling to full-blown chaos in seconds. Fans weren't just reading the headline, they were dissecting every detail like it was the opening scene of a Netflix crime documentary. And the headline itself sounded almost unbelievable. Jim Jones, T, 50 Cent, backstage, confrontation. Just putting those names in the same sentence was enough to set the hip-hop internet on fire. Because these aren't random artists who accidentally bumped into each other in a hallway. These are 3 personalities with long histories, strong opinions, and reputations that make every interaction feel like it could turn dramatic. But before anyone could even confirm what really happened, the rumor about security footage leaking online started circulating. Now, if you've been on the internet long enough, you already know what happens when the words leaked footage appear in a headline. Curiosity spreads faster than wildfire. Everyone suddenly wants to see the clip, analyze the body language, and figure out exactly what went down behind those backstage doors. Within minutes, social media detectives went to work. Clips began appearing across platforms with captions claiming to show the moment security stepped in between the artists. The footage wasn't crystal clear, and some of it looked like it was recorded from a distance. But that didn't stop people from zooming in on every frame. Fans started slowing the video down like sports analysts reviewing a controversial play. People were pointing at gestures, movement, and positioning. Some claimed they saw tension building between the groups. Others insisted the clip simply showed a normal backstage moment that had been exaggerated by the internet. But the more the clip circulated, the louder the speculation became. And speculation is the internet's favorite sport. Soon gossip pages picked up the story and began reposting the footage with dramatic captions. Headlines appeared suggesting that a confrontation had taken place backstage before security stepped in to keep things from escalating. Those headlines spread across Twitter and Instagram like wildfire. Suddenly, the entire timeline was debating what actually happened. Some fans believed the footage clearly showed a tense moment between the rappers. According to them, the body language looked serious enough to suggest that something heated might have happened off camera. Others weren't convinced. They argued that backstage areas at concerts are always crowded and chaotic. Artists, security teams, and crew members are constantly moving around, which can easily make ordinary moments look more dramatic than they really are. But logic rarely slows down internet drama. The situation became even more intense once fans started bringing up history between the artists involved. Because when it comes to hip-hop culture, past tension can turn even a small moment into a huge story. And of course, The name that immediately grabbed attention in this situation was 50 Cent. If there's one person in hip-hop known for turning drama into viral content, it's him. His history of public feuds, sarcastic posts, and legendary trolling has made him one of the most unpredictable figures in the entertainment world. So the idea that he might have had a tense backstage moment with other rap veterans instantly caught the internet's attention. Meanwhile, fans also began discussing Jim Jones and T's roles in the situation. Jim Jones has built his reputation as someone who stands firmly on his principles and isn't afraid of confrontation. Over the years, he's shown that he doesn't shy away from heated moments when things get personal. T, on the other hand, has always been vocal when it comes to defending his perspective, whether it's through interviews, music, or social media posts. He has never been known to stay quiet when his name enters a controversial conversation. So seeing all three names connected to one rumored incident created the perfect storm for internet chaos. Reaction channels on YouTube immediately started uploading breakdown videos. Titles like "Did Jim Jones and T confront 50 Cent?" and "Internet reacts to leaked backstage footage" began appearing across the platform. Each video added another wave of speculation. Comment sections quickly turned into battlegrounds where fans debated who might have been right, who might have been wrong, and whether the situation had been exaggerated by social media. Some viewers believed the footage suggested real tension. Others laughed at how quickly the internet had turned a short clip into a dramatic storyline. But the biggest question remained unanswered: what actually happened backstage? Because while fans were arguing online, none of the artists involved had publicly explained the situation yet. That silence only made the story more mysterious. Every hour that passed without clarification made the internet's imagination grow wilder. People started wondering if the confrontation had been stopped before it escalated. Others speculated that security might have stepped in quickly to prevent things from turning physical. And as the theories kept spreading, the story continued gaining momentum. But just when fans thought the leaked footage was the most dramatic part of the situation, something else started happening. Reactions from people connected to the hip-hop world began appearing online, and those reactions would push the entire story into even bigger chaos. As the alleged backstage footage continued spreading across the internet, the situation quickly shifted from curiosity to full-blown chaos. What started as a blurry clip circulating on a few gossip pages suddenly turned into the hottest topic in hip-hop discussion forums, and once the timeline caught the scent of drama, there was no slowing it down. Within hours, reaction channels, bloggers, and TikTok commentators had all jumped into the conversation. Some creators treated the clip like it was breaking news, replaying the footage again and again while pointing out what they believed were tense moments between the artists. Others simply laughed at the internet's ability to turn a 10-second video into a 3-hour debate. But the speculation kept growing louder. Fans started pausing the footage frame by frame, like they were analyzing a controversial sports replay. People zoomed in on facial expressions, hand gestures, and the positioning of security guards standing between the groups. Some viewers claimed they could clearly see tension building. Others insisted it looked like a normal backstage crowd where multiple entourages simply crossed paths at the same time. But of course, the internet rarely settles for calm explanations. Soon the memes arrived, and when memes appear, the chaos always reaches another level. Some posts joked that the footage looked like the opening scene of a WWE backstage brawl that security stopped before the bell even rang. Another viral meme showed fans wearing detective hats, examining screenshots like investigators solving a mystery. One tweet that went viral read, "The FBI should hire hip-hop Twitter, because these people can analyze a blurry video better than professional investigators." And honestly, the joke wasn't far from reality, because by this point, the timeline had turned into a giant investigation board filled with theories, arrows, and screenshots. But then something even more interesting started happening. People began bringing up history. The internet has a long memory, and when drama appears, Fans immediately start connecting it to previous moments. Old interviews, past disagreements, and social media exchanges were suddenly being reposted as people tried to figure out if this backstage situation might have deeper roots. Some fans pointed out that hip-hop has always been full of competitive energy. Artists challenge each other, debate each other, and sometimes clash publicly before eventually moving on. From their perspective, the backstage footage might simply be another moment of tension in a culture that thrives on strong personalities, but other fans believe the clip might represent something more serious. They argued that the presence of security in the footage suggested things could have escalated if the situation hadn't been controlled quickly. According to those viewers, the body language in the video hinted that the atmosphere might have been far from friendly. Of course, without clear audio or context, nobody could say for sure, but that uncertainty only fueled the internet's imagination. Meanwhile, reaction channels on YouTube were uploading content at lightning speed. Some videos featured hosts dramatically breaking down every second of the footage, pausing the clip repeatedly while asking viewers what they thought was happening. Titles like "Backstage Confrontation Explained" and "Internet Reacts to 50 Cent Run-In" began trending across the platform, and the comment sections, absolute chaos. Some viewers believed the footage proved a confrontation had taken place. Others argued that fans were reading way too much into a random backstage moment. But the most interesting part of the entire situation was what hadn't happened yet. None of the three artists involved had publicly addressed the rumors. That silence created even more suspense, because whenever a story like this spreads across the internet, fans start waiting for reactions from the people involved. Would Jim Jones respond and clarify what really happened? Would T step in and explain whether the situation was exaggerated? Or would 50 Cent do what he does best, jump online and turn the entire moment into a sarcastic trolling spectacle? Those questions started flooding social media timelines. Twitter users kept refreshing their feeds, hoping to catch the first reaction from one of the artists. Some fans predicted that 50 Cent would eventually respond with a funny Instagram caption that would send the internet into another meltdown. Others believed the artists might simply ignore the rumor and let it fade away, but ignoring viral stories rarely works, because once millions of people start talking about something, the conversation tends to keep growing. Bloggers continued reposting the footage, and every repost attracted another wave of curious viewers, and with each new viewer came another opinion. Some fans defended the artists involved, saying the situation looked harmless and overblown. Others insisted the tension in the footage was obvious and that something serious might have happened off camera. But the most surprising twist of all, the next reaction didn't come from the artists themselves. Instead, someone from inside the hip-hop community began speaking about the situation, and their comments pushed the entire story into even louder controversy. Just when people thought the alleged backstage footage had already reached peak chaos, the story somehow found another gear. Because once members of the hip-hop community started reacting publicly, the entire situation exploded into an even bigger debate. What had started as a mysterious clip circulating online suddenly turned into a full conversation about respect, rivalry, and how quickly internet rumors can spiral into major headlines. Some artists and commentators began weighing in on the situation. Though most of them spoke carefully, nobody wanted to jump directly into the middle of something that might simply be a misunderstanding. But that didn't stop the internet from dissecting every comment that appeared. Every reaction became another clue. Fans started sharing screenshots of posts, reposting comments, and interpreting statements like they were decoding secret messages. If someone laughed about the situation, people wondered if that meant they knew more than the public. If someone stayed quiet, fans assumed the silence meant something serious had happened behind the scenes. In other words, the speculation kept multiplying. Meanwhile, the footage itself continued spreading across different platforms. By now, millions of people had seen the clip, and every new repost brought another wave of viewers analyzing the scene from a fresh perspective. Some viewers still believed the moment looked tense. They pointed to the presence of security and the distance between the groups as evidence that something heated might have been brewing. According to them, Situations like that don't usually happen unless security expects potential trouble, but others weren't convinced. Those fans argued that large concerts always have heavy security backstage, with dozens of artists, managers, and entourages moving through the same corridors. Security teams naturally position themselves between groups to prevent confusion. From their perspective, the video might simply show a crowded backstage hallway rather than a confrontation, but logic rarely stops internet drama, because once a rumor becomes entertaining enough, people keep talking about it whether the facts are clear or not. The situation had now reached a point where memes, reaction videos, and debate threads were spreading faster than the original clip itself. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos sat the most important question: what did the artists involved think about all this? Fans kept refreshing their feeds waiting for someone to break the silence. Would Jim Jones address the situation and shut down the rumors? Would T explain what really happened backstage? Or would 50 Cent, the internet's most notorious troll, jump online and turn the entire situation into one of his legendary sarcastic posts? The suspense alone kept the story alive, because everyone knows 50 Cent has a habit of responding to drama in ways that flip the entire narrative. Sometimes he mocks situations with humor. Other times he responds with captions so savage they become memes within minutes. And that unpredictability made the timeline restless. Meanwhile, some fans began discussing a bigger theme behind the situation. They pointed out that hip-hop culture has always contained a mix of competition and respect. Artists often clash verbally or debate publicly, but many of those moments eventually turn into stories fans laugh about years later. From that perspective, the alleged confrontation might simply be another example of strong personalities crossing paths in a high-energy environment. Others believed the situation highlighted a different issue entirely. They argued that social media has a tendency to amplify every small moment into a dramatic headline. A brief encounter that might normally pass unnoticed suddenly becomes an internet spectacle once cameras and speculation enter the picture. In other words, the story might have grown far bigger online than it ever was backstage. But regardless of which explanation people believed, one thing was certain: the clip had already become part of hip-hop internet history. Millions of viewers had watched it, thousands of people had debated it, and reaction channels had turned it into hours of commentary and analysis. Yet the actual truth behind the moment remained surprisingly unclear, and that mystery might be the most powerful part of the entire story, because the internet thrives on unanswered questions. As long as fans keep wondering what really happened backstage, the conversation will continue. Every repost, every meme, every reaction video keeps the story alive. But here's the twist that could change everything. If one of the artists involved eventually decides to address the footage directly, whether through an interview, a post, or even a joke, the entire narrative could shift instantly. And if that happens, this already chaotic story might gain an entirely new chapter that nobody saw coming. Because when it comes to hip-hop drama in the internet era, the final twist almost never arrives when people expect it. And just like that, the internet has once again turned a few seconds of backstage footage into a full-blown hip-hop mystery movie. One blurry clip, 3 huge rap names, and suddenly the timeline is acting like a panel of investigators trying to solve the case of the century. Seriously, the way people started analyzing that video, you'd think we were watching a championship replay in slow motion. Fans zooming in on body language, pausing frames, drawing circles on screenshots like detectives trying to crack the code. But that's the magic of the internet. One moment it's a simple clip. The next moment it's trending worldwide with thousands of theories flying in every direction. Some people swear a confrontation happened. Others say the internet completely exaggerated a normal backstage moment. So now the question goes straight to you. What do you think really happened backstage? Do you believe Jim Jones and T actually confronted 50 Cent? Or do you think the internet detective squad just turned a random hallway moment into a dramatic storyline? And if 50 Cent eventually responds, because let's be honest, he usually does, will it be serious? Or one of those savage trolling moments that break the internet? Drop your opinion in the comments, because the debate is already wild. And while you're here, smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next viral hip-hop drama. And turn on those notifications because stories like this can flip in seconds. One leaked clip can start the conversation, but the next response could start an entire rap war. Stay locked in right here with Truth Tattle, where the tea is hot, the drama never sleeps, and the internet always delivers the crazy